Real Madrid, reyes de Europa, somos los reyes de Europa, reyes de Europa, somos los reyes de Europa. There we go, my people. Welcome, everybody. Let's start because today was a great day for Real Madrid and AC Milan versus Napoli. I will talk a little bit about how the games went, so don't miss out this next show, starting right now. Muy buena, mi gente. Aquí nos encontramos nuevamente en otro programa de Fútbol con Bambam.
Dentro del área. Golpea Petit, Zidane y gol. Ha marcado Zidane el 1-0 para Francia.
Welcome, everybody, and here we go. This is another program of Fútbol con Bambam. And listen, I have to tell you, today my voice is a little bit because I did yell once again about this game as always. But what a game Real Madrid actually did. Real Madrid was in Santiago Bernabeu facing a Chelsea, which Chelsea right now in the Premier League is not going through the best phase on his career in the Premier League. They're struggling. They're actually in the 11th position in the Premier League. However, they're still alive in Champions League. Everybody knows that they're only, 2 stages away from playing the biggest game in the Champions League, which is the final. And the reality is they weren't going to have an easy task because they had to come home in the away game to face Real Madrid. And who's Real Madrid? Well, Real Madrid is the 14-time champion of the Champions League. Therefore, it's the king of Europe. Not only that, Real Madrid is currently the former Champions League champion. So it wasn't an easy task for Chelsea. Another struggle that Chelsea has. Chelsea had for the second day Frank Lampard as their coach. We all know that Graham Potter just got fired several weeks ago from Chelsea, and Frank Lampard was selected to be the coach for this team. However, this team in paper is a team that you will look at it, you say, wow, what a squad. It's a squad that costs over 600 million pounds. And this is a squad that when you have players like Enzo Fernandez, Gallagher, Fofana, you have Joao Felix, you have Sterling, Kyle Herbert. This is a club that is brought in with a lot of great players. However, in the preview, I did talk a little bit about Real Madrid actually coming outside. I didn't talk about the 11 with you guys because it was quite a fast track that I actually had to do. And I only had about 20 minutes to record. So therefore, I apologize. I didn't do a preview of Real Madrid and Chelsea in English. I did it in Spanish, but not in English. Therefore, I do want to give you guys what was the lineup for you can understand a little bit how we went. And Real Madrid actually brought the squad, the same squad that they won 4-0 against Barcelona. They actually brought them in today. And it was Thibaut Courtois, Dani Carvajal, Eder Militao, David Alaba, Eduardo Camavinga, Valverde, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Rodrigo Benzema, and Vinicius Jr. That was the 11 that actually came out and won the 4-0 against Barcelona a week ago. And they brought today the same 11. The same 11, and we know that this weekend Ancelotti actually came in and rotated about 7 players to be able to be ready for this game today. And we're seeing that it paid off. It paid off because Real Madrid actually won 2-0 today. However, let's talk about the 11 of Chelsea. And Chelsea did some rotations from this weekend. They had a loss this weekend in the Premier League, but they brought in, and from the 11, they brought Thiago Silva and N'Golo Kante, and they brought in Ben Chilwell to come inside that they weren't this weekend. So let's talk about the 11. We have Kepa in the goalkeeper, Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, and Wesley Fofana as a defender, Ben Chilwell, Mateo Kovacic, Enzo Fernandez, N'Golo Kante, and Reece James as the midfielders, and Raheem Sterling and Joao Felix as your strikers. What can we talk about this game today? Well, we talked very interesting. And as the game started, and I was saying on my preview in Spanish that one of the things that I thought that Chelsea was going by looking at the team that I saw here, I thought as the striker, Chelsea and Lampard was looking for counterattacks. They were looking for speed. So I thought immediately Chelsea's going to stand back. They're going to play either 5 defenders, 5 midfielders. Either way, they were playing a little bit of both during the match. but they're going to try to close and frustrate a little bit Real Madrid, force them to go and look for the attack and then the counterattack and count on the speed, and hopefully pray that their strikers, as Joao Felix and Sterling, will be able to do the job. And guess what? Starting the game, there was 2 yellow cards right away. First 5 minutes, Fofana had to do a matchup against Vinicius Jr., got a yellow card, forcing Reece James to be able to catch that matchup because they knew automatically that Fofana was not going to be able to stop Vinicius Jr. The next thing that happened is Eduardo Camavinga has a yellow card also as well, causing it over Raheem Sterling. So first 10 minutes, 2 yellow cards. You're saying to yourself, this ref is coming right now and bringing cards all over the place. It's going to be a tough game, maybe a couple expelled. However, by Fofana scoring that double yellow card, that means Fofana would not be participating in the home game, on the return game for Chelsea. So that's one of the loss already for the defense. And we're to talk a little bit more how they lost another big player during the game. However, what happened right now after that is that Chelsea actually had 2 great counterattacks which were not able to capitalize. And one of them was actually N'Golo Kante coming inside, making a great pass to Joao Felix, where Joao Felix took the advantage, and it was 1-on-1 against Courtois. However, Eder Militao was putting a lot of speed catching up to Joao Felix, but Joao Felix does one little mistake. And the mistake was that when he does the first touch, he didn't put it too forward ahead of him. He got a little bit close. That's okay. The speed of Joao Felix was able to catch the ball to do a second touch on the game. But the second touch was very crucial, and I think that's when Joao Felix had a mistake. I'm sorry that I can't put an image for you guys, but, you know, it is what it is right now. I'll try to see if eventually if I can bring this image and show it to you guys in another show. However, Joao Felix, when he does the touch forward. And one of the things is you have Eder Militao right in your left shoulder pretty much. What do you have to do as a striker when you come inside? You cross the ball a little bit. If you cross the ball a little bit, what are 2 things that are going to happen? Eder Militao is going to bump with you, causing you a foul, maybe getting a red card. However, if you bump him, it stops the speed of Eder Militao also. So it puts Eder Militao either at a disadvantage to come to you, and that way gives you a better opportunity to go 1-on-1 against Courtois, which Joao Felix did not do, and gave opportunity to Eder Militao come inside, make a contact. Courtois closed very well the angle on the goal. Joao Felix shoots, Courtois catches the ball. End of the play. Big play, not taking advantage. But what big teams does? Chelsea actually lost 2 opportunities, major opportunities to score, but Real Madrid only took 1 to actually be able to be productive. And it's actually Carvajal does a pass almost from midfield, putting it inside the box of the 18. Vinicius Jr. jumps in with the leg, pushes the ball towards your right-hand side where Karim Benzema was there and scored it. Kepa actually almost got a contact with the ball. Well, he got contact with the ball. He just couldn't be able to save it. But Karim Benzema puts inside, making that game 1-0. What happens right after that goal is that Chelsea responds and goes on another counterattack, which a lot of danger. But then again, Courtois did a big stoppage. You know, having this said right now, Real Madrid could have been down several goals if it wasn't because of Courtois and Eder Militao in this place. Now, second half comes inside, and this is what it becomes interesting, because Real Madrid loses a little bit of pressure and momentum in the game. They start allowing now Chelsea to be able to create a little bit more plays, put a little bit more pressure in the first coming minutes. However, a counterattack from Real Madrid makes Koulibaly force himself too much against Rodrigo, which Rodrigo did the perfect thing that I was just explaining to you guys. Rodrigo touches with the ball towards the side, more to the center of the field. However, Koulibaly was already so on top of him, and the opposite of what Joao Felix was doing with Militao, where Joao Felix was here and Militao was back here. Koulibaly was here with Rodrigo. So when Rodrigo hits the ball with his head, it gives Koulibaly the option to put a little bit of body pressure towards Rodrigo and take him away of balance, and allowing Koulibaly to be able to get back, get that ball, and eliminate that counterattack, which was very dangerous for Rodrigo in that moment. But what happens? Because of that extra effort that Koulibaly had to do, he ended up sitting on the ground, touching his back of his thigh, making sure that and observing that he had a little bit or probably pulled the muscle or something. We will find out a little bit more on Monday when they do testing on him. Well, in a couple of days when they go back to England and do some testing on him before this weekend. But that brings in Cucurella. This is an important entrance that Cucurella comes inside, because right after Cucurella comes inside, he comes in at a minute 55. In less than 4 minutes, Chilwell gets a red card. And guess what? I'm going to explain a little bit the play. And it's Cucurella's fault, because Real Madrid takes possession of the ball, putting the tempo a little bit slow towards the tempo on the attack. Been able to try to get a little bit of frustrated and looking for Chelsea to look a little bit and push a little bit forward. However, Real Madrid keeps the calm, passes the ball to Rodrigo, which Cucurella is trying to get behind him. Rodrigo returns the ball back to I think it was actually Camavinga. But what happens immediately is that Rodrigo shifts his body and is ready to just take off. Cucurella stays in his heel, standing right there. So when Rodrigo gets like this, he changes the momentum of speed. The pass comes over him. Rodrigo already has the upper hand, forcing Thiago Silva and Chilwell to be able to try to get back. Thiago Silva didn't have option to actually come back on time. Rodrigo gets the ball. Chilwell comes inside. Chilwell pulls him through the back of the hand, earning a red card directly because he's the last man defending and took away a direct opportunity for a score on Real Madrid, leaving Chelsea again with 10 players on the field, down 1-0. And now you don't have Fofana for next game. And guess what? Chilwell's not next game also. 2 huge losses in the defense for Chelsea for the next matchup. So what happens right after that? Because this is very interesting. Actually, Cucurella forces the ball going outside to do a corner kick. What happens now? There's 10 players of Chelsea. So therefore, there's 11 versus 10 in the team. Real Madrid opts to go with a short pass because they know they're 1 man above Chelsea. So everybody else is busy inside the box, comes inside and passes the ball to Vinicius. Vinicius inside the box pushes it back, and Marco Asensio does what he does with the left foot, puts a ball right through the ground that goes underneath the legs of Fofana, and Kepa was not able to stop the ball, and that second goal came inside. Guess what? Cucurella's fault for putting the ball right outside and giving this opportunity again. So it wasn't a great entrance from Cucurella coming inside and be able to match this Real Madrid, which Real Madrid actually 2-0 ahead, put the moment to be on their favor. And everybody thought immediately that Real Madrid was probably going to have the upper hand to finish up the game 3 and 4 goals above. It didn't happen. Whenever you have 10 players in a team, the team tends to concentrate a little bit more because they know they're a player down. They tend to concentrate a little bit more. They close up a little bit more the gaps and start to protect a little bit more condensed. So therefore making it so much more difficult for offensive teams to come inside and be able to find those open spaces to be able to create. Now, Mason Mount comes inside in minute 75, and we have to mention that Chelsea did have a clear momentum where Mason Mount was about to attack one-on-one Courtois, because Militao lost his balance. Mason Mount grabs the ball, about to shoot inside, but Antonio Rudiger, who just came in the game 2 minutes before that event, comes inside, slides, covers that shot from Mason Mount, giving out on Real Madrid the victory 2-0. And it's very important that Chelsea did not score because, as we saw last year, Real Madrid, when they were losing 4-2 against Manchester City, that extra goal that came right at the end that made the game go 4-3 gave that momentum and that sensation for Real Madrid that they won from a team that they were actually outplayed in a game that they were actually not looking positive. They came out saying, hey, we're only 1 goal behind. We can change this in our house. So therefore, it was a great momentum for Real Madrid in there. So by doing a clean sheet today, actually made a really good outcome for Real Madrid because it disallowed Chelsea to grab that momentum. Now they're 2 goals behind. They have to force themselves more than 2 goals. We know that last year Chelsea came back on the away on the home game or the away game, whatever you want to call it, the second leg, and Chelsea scored 3 goals on Real Madrid. But that's not the same about this year. It could happen. Yes, it could happen. However, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because Real Madrid is coming in a mentality ahead 2-0. All they know that if they can score 1 or 2 more goals in England, it makes it that more difficult for Chelsea. So we have to see the momentum. I think Real Madrid is going to come forward. They're going to try to propose similar game of what they did today, dominating the game on possession, making the pressure up above, making it harder for Chelsea to be able to do counterattack. Another interesting phrase that I can probably put inside is a couple matchups that they were. And is that Modric and Kroos, even though they didn't shine too much with the ball on their hand, I will tell you how they shine today in the game. And the way that they shine is both of them put back-to-back pressure immediately to Enzo Fernandez and Mateo Kovacic. What does that do? That actually stops completely any possession to the midfield for Chelsea. So any option Chelsea had to try to create, calm down the play or move it and shift it to their favor, it was completely ended because these two players maintain pressure consistently one-on-one on individually player. Now, you will ask me and say, well, N'Golo Kanté had a little bit more freedom. Yes, N'Golo Kanté is a little bit more difficult to guard. He's a little bit more movement type style of player. However, he's out of rhythm. He's been away for quite a while also. So it gave that much confidence around Madrid that, hey, we can't cover everybody. So we'll put pressure to their 2 stars, the 2 people who could be a difference maker in the game, and we'll let one of them at least go by and hope that our defense and the rest of the squad are there to be able to behave. And it gave enough. Now, another big matchup was that Reece James was actually outclassing Camavinga on the wing and attacking. However, Vinicius was doing vice versa, outclassing Reece James on the other side. We saw Chilwell actually put a little bit of pressure to Carvajal. However, I have to mention Carvajal today was not as completely bad. Carvajal actually today started stopping a couple more balls, had a little bit more participation. He was the main assistance of giving that pass for the first goal. So he was there in the game. He actually did a factor. He didn't play as bad. I think one of the worst players that played today in Real Madrid, and it's not his fault completely, is Eduardo Camavinga. I would say he was the weakest link for Real Madrid. I would say the strongest link was most of the squad. I would say more Vinicius Jr., who put a lot more pressure. And of course, Benzema was on a good day. Rodrigo was on a good day. And then again, Fede Valverde gave his heart in during the game also, making it very, very, very positive for Real Madrid and maintaining possession and speed. For a negative side for Chelsea, I will say that the negative side will be Cucurella #1. And that dumb move and decision from Chilwell, another one that it didn't give too much value for them. Fofana was actually against the corner. So I think the whole defense of Chelsea had a little bit of trouble. They have to have merit at some point that they only maintained this game 2-0. However, they did not have the best of the day, but I will blame the most on Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez. They were unable and incapable of finding a strategy to get loose from Modric and Toni Kroos pressure and been able to take that ball away from them. So those are the biggest loss. The biggest victory, I would say, is that Chelsea had some opportunity. They showed that they could be able to score some to Real Madrid. That should be a mentality to bring for the next game next week on Tuesday in England. Therefore, let's talk a little bit about what happened in the AC Milan and Naples team. And what happened in this game is that actually AC Milan win the game 1-0, and you have a red card also in the game. So Ismael Benacer actually makes the score on the minute 40 from assistance from Rafael Leao. But again, this is a play that actually starts from Brahim Diaz. So therefore, it was a great first half for AC Milan. It's a positive result for AC Milan. They just came from beating 4-0 against Naples. However, we have to mention that Naples is a comfortable leader in the Italian Calcio League and is one of the favorites to win this matchup. However, it was not the best start for them. Now they're going back to Naples. They have to resolve this game, and they have to do it without Andres Zambo Aguisa, which actually had 2 yellow cards today, a red card and a suspension for next game. So I love this match today. Had a lot of fun. Real Madrid continues this way. Hasta el final is the slogan, until the end. If you haven't seen the documentary from Apple Plus of Real Madrid Hasta el Final, I strongly recommend it for you to watch it. It's awesome because it talks a little bit about the mentality of Real Madrid and how wonderful was how Real Madrid was capable to lift number 14 last year. So I recommend that show for you guys. Can't wait for next week to be able to see the last and who's going to be the top 4 teams going into the semifinal. Right now, currently, Inter Milan is ahead in the matchup 2-0 against Benfica in the first match. Manchester City is still representing strong and eliminating up to now Bayern de Munich 3-0 on the victory for Manchester. They're going back to Germany and seeing if they can finish it off, or Germany could do the miracle and do a comeback. In this side of the leg, right now, you will see Real Madrid actually won 2-0, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, and AC Milan is winning the match at least 1-0 against Naples. So next week, we'll see AC Milan Naples on Tuesday, and Real Madrid and Chelsea. And on Wednesday, we will see Man City, Bayern de Munich, Inter Milan versus Benfica. So here we go, my friends. I hope you enjoy the show. Stick around for next time. I have to leave right now. There might not be another show later on tonight. I'll probably bring some stats later on in the week and getting ready for this week, and also for La Liga, the Premier League, Liga Calcio, and also the preparations and how things line up for next week's Champions League second leg. Hope you enjoy the show. Leave your comment, leave the likes. Let me know your opinion, and I'll see you until next time. Ciao!